The refugee ship, Dalthene's Hope, limped through the void, its hull scarred by plasma burns and desperation. Inside, Isabella Martinez stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes reflecting the cold stars that had rejected her people. The Delphinons, a proud species of engineers and philosophers, were now outcasts, fleeing from a galaxy that had turned its back on them. "Captain," Leo Chen's voice crackled through her calm. "We're picking up a signal. Sector 774. It's human." Isabella's breath caught. Humanity, the youngest species to achieve faster-than-light travel. Barely 2 centuries into their stellar age, the Galactic Council had dismissed them as primitives, their technology crude, their diplomacy lacking refinement. Yet here they were, the only ones responding to the Dalthene distress beacon. "Set course," Isabella ordered, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. Leo watched the approaching human vessel through the tactical display, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. The ship was unlike anything in the standard galactic fleet, asymmetrical, almost chaotic in design, yet somehow purposeful. Where council ships were sleek and uniform, this human cruiser looked like it had been built by 1,000 different hands, each adding their own vision to the whole. "Dalthene's Hope. This is USS Defiance." A warm voice filled the bridge. "We've received your distress call. Stand by for docking procedures." Isabella moved to Leo's station, placing a hand on his shoulder. They had been friends since childhood, survivors of the purge that had destroyed their homeworld. The Galactic Council had declared the Dalthene guilty of dangerous philosophical deviance, the crime of questioning whether advanced AI deserved rights. For that heresy, they had been systematically hunted, their worlds blockaded, their people scattered. "Why would they help us?" Leo whispered. "The humans have nothing to gain. The Council will see this as defiance." Isabella smiled grimly. "Perhaps that's exactly why their ship is named Defiance." The docking was gentle, professional. Isabella led a delegation of 20 Dalthene onto the human vessel, expecting sterile corridors and suspicious guards. Instead, they found organized Chaos crew members of a dozen different Earth ethnicities, rushing past with purpose. Walls decorated with art from cultures spanning millennia, and the smell of something wonderful wafting from what appeared to be a communal kitchen. Commander Sarah Okonkwo met them at the airlock, her smile genuine and unguarded. "Welcome aboard. You all look like you could use a hot meal and a safe place to rest." Leo translated for the elder Dalthene, many of whom had never bothered to learn the human tongues. Their surprise was palpable. The Galactic Council received refugees with bureaucratic coldness, processed them like cargo. These humans treated them like guests. "We have 847 souls aboard our ship," Isabella said carefully. "Mostly civilians. Families who'd been running for 3 months, since the Council forces destroyed our colony on Praxis 7. Commander Okonkwo's expression darkened. "We know. We've been tracking the Council's campaign against your people. Humanitarian disaster doesn't begin to cover it." "Then you understand the risk," Isabella continued. "By helping us, you're antagonizing the Council. Your species is new to galactic politics. This could isolate you, isolate us." Commander Okonkwo laughed, but there was steel beneath it. "Dr. Martinez May, I call you Isabella. Humanity spent its entire history divided, fighting, struggling. We know what it means to be cast out, to be deemed unworthy by those in power. The Council can take their politics and shove it." Over the next 3 days, the human fleet for the Defiance was not alone escorted the Dalthene ships to a system humanity had recently colonized. Leo couldn't believe what he saw as they entered orbit around New Haven. The planet below was still being terraformed, its atmosphere not yet fully breathable, but on the surface, great domed cities were already taking shape, and orbiting the world were dozens of ships, not just human, but Vexari, Tholus, even a few Cryonth vessels. "What is this place?" Leo asked, standing beside Isabella on the observation deck, a human engineer named Marcus who had befriended Leo during the journey. "It's what happens when you tell humanity who they can and can't help. 6 months ago, the Council declared the Vexari extinct after their sun went nova, said rescue operations were economically unfeasible. We said screw that, and mounted our own rescue, saved about 40,000 of them." "And the Council allowed this?" Isabella asked, incredulous. Marcus shrugged. "The Council doesn't get to allow or forbid humanity to act on our conscience. We're too far from their core territories to enforce their edicts effectively, and frankly, they're learning that we don't respond well to being told to abandon people in need." Isabella felt tears on her cheeks. For months, she had believed the Delphine were alone, that their extinction was inevitable. Now she saw vexry children playing in domed parks, soulless merchants setting up shops, Cryanth artists painting murals on habitat walls, all species the council had written off, all given sanctuary by humanity. That night, Isabella and Leo stood in the common area of the settlement dome assigned to the Delphine. Around them, families were reuniting. Children were laughing for the first time in months. Elders were weeping with relief. They called us dangerous deviants for suggesting AI might be people, Leo said softly, for questioning the established order. Isabella nodded. Watching human volunteers help Delphine families settle into their new homes. And these humans, they're the most dangerous deviants of all. They reject the fundamental principle the council is built on, that power determines worth, that efficiency trumps compassion. Do you think they can sustain this? Leo asked. The council has 1,000,000 worlds, billions of warships. Maybe, Isabella replied, a smile growing on her face. Maybe not, but I've learned something about humanity these past few days. They don't measure their choices by odds of success. They measure them by whether it's the right thing to do. Above them, the stars shone bright, the same stars that had seemed so cold when they fled Praxis 7. But now, in human space, those stars felt different. They felt like hope. The galaxy had cast them out, but humanity had welcomed them home. And perhaps, Isabella thought, that made all the difference. The end.